You want me to start telling or what?
Okay.
All right.
This is an interview at the Public Library Center, Moriches, New York. It is the 9th of March, 2004, 3:50 p.m. Interviewers are Wayne Clark and Mike Russert. Could you give me your full name, date of birth, and place of birth, please?
My name is Anthony Giammalvo. G-I-A, 2 M's, A-L-V-O.
Okay.
My place of birth was in Brooklyn, New York in 1925.
All right, thank you. What was your educational background prior to entering service?
Well, I'm a high school dropout, which I was too anxious to get into the Navy, you know. Which I took a course while I was on my ship, but I never got a diploma. So I'm a high school dropout, really, which I'm sorry to say.
All right. Do you remember where you were and what your reaction was when you heard about Pearl Harbor?
Well, I remember I was at a wedding, my cousin's wedding, in 1941, which was December 7th, on a Sunday. I'll never forget that. And the whole wedding was disturbed because it was interrupted by announcing Pearl Harbor's been bombed. I was only 16 years old, I think I was, around that age. And I'll never forget that day. And everybody changed, everybody, you know, I mean, all the young guys that wanted to go, they couldn't wait till they got in.
Now, you said you left school to join the Navy.
Well, no, I didn't join the Navy. To be honest with you, my father and mother didn't want me because I had one brother already in. She said, wait till they called you. But they called me as soon as I signed up the draft at 18. They got me in 3 months.
Oh, okay. Now, what branch of service was your brother?
I was in the United States Navy. Proud to be in the Navy.
Okay. Now, you went in July of 43?
Right.
Okay. Where did you go for your basic training?
Sampson, New York, upstate New York,
Right.
Sampson. I stood there about 2 months, whatever it was, about 2 months and a half. And then they shipped me to Brooklyn Navy Yard. I was on hold. There was a beautiful ship, which I had no knowledge about it at all, called the USS Euryale. The USS Euryale was not a very big ship. She was a 9,000-something ton ship, but it was built to be a submarine tender, you see? And she, I'm very proud, she had over 12, 13 citations. I was on the safest ship to be on, but I was very close to all the hostilities because this ship had to be as close as possible to all the submarines that we serviced. It was a subtender with a relief crew and everything it needed.
A relief crew for submarines?
Right.
So you kept a relief crew on board?
Oh yes, we had a ship's company, maybe if I remember right, 1,300, you know, including the submarine relief crew. Which when a sub came in alongside of us in the Pacific, I was all over the Pacific, the submarine would come alongside with about 6 other subs right there and would stay alongside of us for about a week or 2 to 10 days, depending on the condition of the submarine. And by that time it was all redone, all serviced, new crew, refreshed crew, fueled up, all fresh new torpedoes, and ready to go out for another month or a month and a half. That's how long it took for them to fulfill a run.
Now, what kind of things did you do to a submarine to resurface it?
Well, the submarine, after 2 months, say a month and a half out on service, needed everything. See, it needed a general overhaul, which it got. And the torpedoes, if there was anything left, were taken out, and redrained, and refilled, and put back in, overhauled the submarine completely, changed the crew, the captain and everything. They had a trick, because that was a horrible duty for a month and a half, 2 months to be on a submarine. They had the best food in the world there was to eat. But it was a pretty dangerous assignment being a submarine crewman.
Now, did your subtender also have food for them too?
Oh yes, we supplied them with food, supplied them with cooks if they needed. We had everything for them. And we entertained them. That was also what I used to do. See, I was into the Navy ship's band. I played music, I still do. And I was also the bugler. I woke everybody up every morning.
You probably were the best loved man on the ship.
I was, but I got along with everybody. I really enjoyed my duty very much, and I'm proud to say it, because my ship was the type of ship, every time it hit a strange, different part of the Pacific, we would anchor there, and then the first thing to do is get the band off, put them on a couple of whaleboats, and we entertained all the troops that were in shore, Marines, Army, and everything like that. I have a picture of that, the band, and it was a great thing to do. It made them all happy and all that. Yeah, that's one of the pictures.
When was that taken? And you can hold it right there. And
Well, I would say this was taken in Australia, in Perth, Fremantle. That's southwest Australia. I'm right up over here. Okay?
Whereabouts are you again?
I'm right over here. Right here.
Okay.
It was a beautiful orchestra. You can see it. Okay? And we entertained everybody. Every time we went someplace, of course that was in Fremantle, but we used to do it with dungarees out in the jungles for the Marines and for the Army, for the Navy, Seabees, whatever. That was very, I was so busy that the war just flew right by me fast.
Did you play music for any USO shows at all?
Oh yes, yes. There was one time, I just missed him by a day, Joey Brown, that was before your time maybe.
Oh, I remember him.
And Don Cannell, and there was Bob Hope, and Joe Stafford, all them beautiful stars, and they were always busy. Bob Hope deserves a lot of credit for what he did, and also Joey Brown and the rest of those great, Jerry Colonna, and all them guys. And the Red Cross, naturally, is great too.
okay. Let's see. How long were you at sea?
At sea,
Yes.
about 24 to 26 months, I don't remember, 24 to 6 months, over 2 years, I know.
Now, on this form you filled out, you said you thought your ship was one of the worst enemies Japan ever had. Why was that?
Why? Because our submarines that were attached to my ship, there were two subtenders called the Dada and the Fulton and us, but our submarine, my tender was smaller than the other ones. And somehow they used to make us get closer to the enemy so my subs wouldn't have to travel too far. And what was the question again? I just lost my...
Why did you think it was the worst enemy the Japanese had seen?
Because we sunk my subs, not my ship. The subs did a lot of damage. It was responsible for the great battleship also in Tokyo Harbor that got hit bad. And she won citations. I don't know what the name of them were. I don't remember that. And I was very proud of those guys when they came in. They came in all banged up, all busted up and everything like that, but if they were able to come back, we lost a lot of submarines too. But if they were able to come back, there was really people to salute to, believe me. There was a horrible life on that boat, especially when they were damaged. Oh. And
Now, if a submarine was badly damaged, would they come to you, or would they...
No, if they were badly damaged, in those times there was these seaplanes called, oh my God. There was no helicopters or anything like that. There was a Catalina PB Wise.
Yes.
Okay? They were the only support they might get, or maybe a destroyer, or most likely a destroyer escort to get near them. If they were able to make, and they really survived a lot of them. They did. They really helped a lot. They saved a lot of guys, but some of them weren't able to be saved. The stories I heard.
Now, you said that one of the unusual duties you performed was sounding taps for services. different
Yes,
services.
whenever my ship, wherever it was, New Guinea, Milne Bay, Guam, Anahuac, we were in all these islands. I'm proud to say that. And there was battles before we got there. And if they needed anybody, which they did, an armed guard and everything like that, I would sound taps. And I've done that, especially in Okinawa. And that was my duty. I was there. If they needed me, I was told to go. But before that, I was on my ship all the time, sounding all kinds of calls. See? Beverly, turn 2, chow call, boat calls, emergency calls, and all those calls, you know. And the first thing they had to do is know the bugle calls, because if anything ever happened to the electrical power, if they didn't know the bugle calls, that's what the executive officer told me, you make sure you play those calls right.
Now, you ended up in occupied Japan?
Yes.
Could you tell us about
Sasebo, Japan. We ended up in Sasebo because Sasebo was known to be one of their biggest, if not the biggest, submarine place the Japanese had there. And we were there, my crew and everything like that, the ship's crew. I wasn't a mechanic, I was a musician. And they went out, dismantled all the subs, you know, they had over there. Japanese had the biggest submarines and the smaller submarines. They had submarines, which 2 of them came to surrender to us during the war. They used to hold 2 kamikaze airplanes in a tube, if you remember that. And then had the one-man suicide, I would call
Now,
it.
those 2 submarines surrendered to you?
Well, they were found, they were looking to give up. They had no fuel, they were ran out of it, so we had a seagoing tug attached to my ship, if you know what I'm talking about. Seagoing tugs, they go out and pick up damaged ships if they're still floating, and they'll tow them to the nearest place they can get help. And my ship was a tender, so they couldn't find a better place if it was possible to find than my ship. And they brought these 2 big subs next to us. I had pictures, I should have brought them too. And they were the most clumsiest. They weren't too famous for the Japanese. And the other ones, they couldn't stay without getting seasick, those small ones they had too. They weren't that great.
Now, you mentioned something about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Did you actually go there to see
Yeah,
them?
we were there. We occupied all that place. And what I saw, I just didn't believe. I saw devastation. I just can't explain it to you. Just dried out people's skulls with hairs and hands, bones all over that place. And I'm surprised they let us go there to look at that and see that, you know. And that I'll never forget as long as I live, because I was so convinced after that experience, there'll never be another war. Not what that bomb did. And yet, look all the wars we had right after that. That was the most terrifying experience I've had.
Did you think we were justified in dropping those bombs?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If we didn't, they were killing us by even though we were killing more of them than us, but still we were losing a lot of men every day. And I'm sorry to say, because, you know, I believe in forgive people, which I do. I met Japanese people over there and everything like that. I got talking to them, surprised. They were all prepared to take this war over, you know. They spoke English better than I did. I came from Brooklyn, you know. So anyway, and what was I talking about? I forgot now.
Just the devastation and
Yeah.
the casualties we would have taken at
we had to take it.
landings there.
Of course, they were killing us like anything over there, and they were a little cruel. The Japanese Army and Navy, whatever they are, they were cruel to our prisoners. They were. Maybe they're not anymore now. I hope not, but we were too good to them. But they were no good to us.
How long did you stay in Japan in occupation?
About 2 months. Yeah, 2 months.
And then you came back to the States and were
Then
discharged?
finally they told them, get ready to quickly to put up the homeward bound pennant on your ship, take off. But all of a sudden my ship became a troop transport. You know, everybody was with points, overloaded with points, you know. So the ship had, I don't know how many people on it. The mess hall was open 24 hours a day because there was no such thing waiting a couple of hours. You had about 4,000 guys on that ship, you know. And that was something. I didn't even have to sound charcoal or anything like that because the war was over, so I was relieved anyway, so thank God.
When were you discharged?
I got discharged, well, the ship made it to San Francisco. I was in Pearl Harbor a couple of times, but she made it to San Francisco. And then from there, we got off the ship, got on a cattle car. I was heading home to New York. Many a times we could have got out of that cattle car and we could have ran faster than that train was moving. It was about 1.5 miles long. It had engines pulling us and engines in the back pushing us. It was full of soldiers and sailors and Marines. And it took us about a week to get home.
Now, someone described it before you, there were mattresses in it, on the sides?
Just bunks with bare
Just bunks?
springs.
Did you have bunks inside?
Yeah, well, we
Sleep
had a sea bag, and that's all, you know what I mean? You had to just make room. I tell you the truth, it was very uncomfortable, but that wasn't on our mind. We were getting home, you know what I mean? So we made the best. A lot of us slept during the days, during the night, you know.
Where were you discharged?
In Sampson, no, I was in Lido Beach. Lido Beach, Long Island. That's near Long Beach, if you know where that is. It was a beautiful hotel one time, but then they made a Navy place out of it. And that was in 1946.
Do you know whatever happened to your ship?
My ship, yes, I got all kinds of reports on it. She stayed in San Francisco. She was in mothballs. And she was never recalled back to duty until about 18 and 19, if I remember right, 76 or 78. She was called for something, but then they never got it to do anything. And now she's scuttled and she's finished and she's dead. There was a submarine tender called the Fulton. She was a much bigger subtender than ours. And the O'Brien, I remember them. They were great subs. But we were the ones, if they were going to sink was going to be ours, the government figured, you know what I mean? But thank God, we all got home safe. I was near the action, but I never was in the action. I was near it all, but never confronted any action.
Did you make use of the GI Bill at all?
No, because my father and mother had a business. And my brother was a dairy business, a small business. And I got involved with that, actually, in 1946. I had an Army ambulance, believe it or not. It was entitled to me. I paid for it, but not as much. And I just put dairy products in that truck, because there was no Red Cross on it. I took that, but it was an Army ambulance. And I built up a route, because in right at the end of 45 and 46, everything was open. You know what I mean? Progress was very good. Stores, they couldn't wait till they got rid of the crumb that was serving them during the war. So I built up a dairy route in no time at all. So and I did very well. I ended up serving supermarkets and everything after a while. War Bomb Supermarket in Brooklyn, I had one store on Marcy Avenue. Now look all the supermarkets they had. Hills Markets and all those, A&Ps, you name them, Bohacks and all them. I used to serve them all. So we became pretty big. You ever hear Polio Regatta?
No.
Malvo
Regatta? Euryale? That was me. Yeah.
Oh, the Palazzo. Okay, yes.
Yeah, Malvo. Yeah, we were all over. So thank God. That's why I didn't go after no GI. Thank God, I was all right.
Now you joined the Veterans Organization?
Oh, yeah. American Legion, I don't know how many years. I started in 1946. Yeah.
And you obviously are very active.
Well, sure, because, I always like places like that, especially for veterans, And I started in Brooklyn, and then Valley Stream. I lived there for 35 years, which I miss very, very much. It was well established. I had a big post there. But now, I'm sorry to say, our posters are all dying no matter where we are, because the old-timers are gone. Vietnam guys, I don't know, they don't seem to want to get in it. Maybe they're disgusted, I don't know what it is or what, but Korean, forget about it. It's only World War II actually that are active in these things.
And you still are active as a bugler?
Oh yeah. I'm a bugler member of across America. I got my diploma there. It says, my thing there, if you look at
Discharged?
No.
that one right there. Yeah. Across America. They gave me that medal. Somebody told them about me, and they wrote to me about it, and I gave them some information, and then I'm available even up till today.
Okay.
And only about being available, they can't tell me a week at a time when somebody's going to die or something like that. It's got to be a day before. But if I'm available, I've done so many of them, Calverton, Pine Lawn, all over. Private cemeteries.
Okay, did you ever stay in contact with anyone that was in, that you served with?
Oh yeah, we have reunions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because now they're dying out now. I'm one of the youngest ones there. We have reunions. I always bring my horn with me. I'm the only musician left in that band. The other ones there just don't show up, who passed away. But we always make it a point to tell the band that we hired for 3 days over there, make room for me to play. I still jam, you know, I'm a jazz man, you know. And I sit in and have a good time. Old timers. Brings out a lot of things to remember. So how many years did I still see these guys, and I still see them? What's left of us? Not many left. 13 of us maybe left. When we first started, it was 125 of us. Okay? And that's it. We've been all over the country, no matter where. It's nice.
How do you think your time in service changed or affected your life?
Well, I was a young kid then, you know what I mean? When I got back, of course, I was talking about it for about a couple of years after that, you know. Then I met a nice girl, I married her. It didn't affect me, not whatsoever. It didn't. Because I wasn't the only one. Mostly all the guys were in the service then, you know what I mean? I remember the big party they had in Brooklyn for all the servicemen. They had that party at the end of 46. There were about thousands of us over there, right in the streets, like the big Brooklyn festivals they have, you know what I mean? It was really nice. I enjoyed every part of it, and I appreciated it. And I was proud. And a lot of guys see more than I ever did, believe me. Especially prisoners of war. Oh. I seen a couple of prisoners of war, you know what I mean? They came aboard our ship and everything like that. Boy, oh boy. That's why I'm telling you, the Japanese, I guess the Germans weren't as bad as the Japanese. The Germans would try to get friendly with the prisoners, and this way they'll learn more about them. But the Japanese didn't believe that. Okay? But, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your interview.
I hope I made myself...
Yes, you did. Now, one thing